Hey fellow friends of the internet, interweb, ethernet. Okay, I'm literally starting over this video because I wouldn't stop going off on tangents. So I'm just going to dive in because I'm having a hard time keeping my thoughts together, which is a day-to-day struggle, but right now it's a little bit. Sorry, I can't dab anymore. 2017. Times are changing, guys. Times are changing. Us, as civilians, we cannot dab unless we are allowed to. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, it's going to be a talking video, so it might be a little long, it might be a little weird, but aren't those all of my videos? But no, I'm just kidding. I came upon this topic when I first started college. It was brought up to me in a book that was given to me by a college professor. And that book is the reason why I am making this video. And I would really recommend that book, this book, my book, your book, our book. Stop. Stay on track. So, yes, entering college. What does Sarah want to do? Well, Sarah wants to write books one day. So, in college I took a bunch of creative writing classes and courses and stuff like that to help you write and, get your creative imagination just flowing. So, yeah, I took a creative art of writing, the creative art of writing, the art of creative writing, however you want to say it. And, yeah, one of the topics that this book talks about, basically the only topic this book talks about, is resistance. I think it is something that everybody kind of knows about, but not a lot of people deeply understand it. Even I still to this day don't deeply understand it. But I think that I have an idea and I have a bunch of information that I want to share with you guys because, what the hell does information do only benefiting one person? It's not really going to change anybody's lives. You guys, that's one of my biggest tips. If you guys discover things or just learn things, share your inspiration, share your knowledge, share your wisdom with everybody around you. A bunch of excellent information locked inside of one head. I'm not saying my information's knowledgeable or anything that should be quoted. But if you are a great, just intellectual thinker and you keep all of your thoughts bottled inside of your head, the world will never hear things. The world will never hear your ideas. It will never grasp onto the things you thought about. Share with the world, you guys. Let's stop sharing stupid things and dumb things, and then start spreading and trading information that will help spread positivity and not the hate. You haters, leave me alone. You don't faze me, okay? Okay, you're wasting your time, not mine. It's more of hey, here's a little advice from me to you, from friend or foe. You can leave hate, but it's just wasting your time. So, go ahead, do it. I'll read it. I pay attention to all my comments. Yeah, I thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time to comment at all and watch my video. That speaks more to me than the hate in your words, so I appreciate it. Now back to my video. So, what is resistance? Resistance, in sum and total, is the enemy of creativity. And what is creativity? Creativity springs from within a human, okay? We all have this brain, and then we all have a consciousness. And sometimes resistance takes over, okay? Now, a little quote from the book. One of the things that I am going to be doing, I have a journal. Thank you for this journal. You know who you are. You sent it to me and you made it, and it's beautiful, and I thank you. It's going to good use. I am going to be reading from my journal and from the book. The book that I am referring to is The War of Art. Ignore the cat throw up on the front. My cats are savages. What can you do, right? And yeah, it's break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. Has beautiful flower coming out of a Minecraft stone. So, yeah, it's by Steven Pressfield, and I seriously, you guys, I require it. I do require it, but I recommend it a lot. Okay, so, resistance, by quote, from Steven Pressfield himself, says, it's like our death wish, okay? He says, it's the destructive force inside us that rises whenever we consider a thought, a long-term course of action that might do us or others good. Okay. So, when inspiration touches talent, she gives birth to truth and beauty. But who tries to get in the way? It's resistance. Okay, so when we think about resistance, well, we already talked about what it is. Resistance, point blank simple. We could dig into a huge definition that some weird encyclopedia or dictionary or whatever that thing is could carry, or we could just say it's the enemy of creativity. It's what distracts you. Resistance is a distraction from your creative being that lives inside of each and every one of us. Okay? So, resistance is not something that we can just get over. Okay, every single day we'll wake up and oh my God, I'm fighting the same battle that I was yesterday. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't feel good. I don't have anything to do. I don't feel like what I'll do today is even beneficial. I'm just going to stay in bed. Okay, that's resistance. Some people will watch this video and then think, well, oh my God, this will teach me how to get over resistance. No, resistance is something that will always be there because it's self-made and self-inflicted, and I'll get into more of that in a second. But it's just literally, you guys, resistance will come up with anything from cleaning the toilet to brushing your teeth to doing a video to going to school to doing your homework. Resistance, like nothing can take away resistance, okay? So the first step of resistance is accepting the fact that it's long term. That's nothing bad, okay? You've accepted the fact that it's long term. You understand the fact that it's long term, so it won't affect you as much as it would if you weren't, aware. So one thing that will also help you get over it's like, there's a park down the street, kids. Go play at the park. I'm like so weird, you guys. Like, yes, I get it. Millions of people will listen to my video after I post them, but like while I'm making it, if like, I don't know, if I have someone listening in on me and there's like a bunch of people outside, or just, I don't know, man. I don't like it. It's like, shh, I gotta think. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Okay, so what I was saying was that it's something that you literally have to hit at every single day. Every single day, resistance will be at your doorstep, okay? So what are some ways, simple little ways, before we dig into this deep ass, sorry, Jesus Christ. Before we dive into this deep ass video, some of the things that you can do just to start, some just little tips. You have to put in the time, okay? If you put in the time, you're already avoiding resistance in itself, because one of the best things resistance likes to do is to stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. So if you don't put in the time, you're letting resistance take over and you're failing yourself. So if you at least put in the time, a little bit of time each day, build up the time and effort that you're putting into what you're doing, you're already avoiding resistance. Okay? The next thing, don't think about it. Don't think about what you're doing, okay? It's like too hot in here to not have a window open. They're literally like sitting right in front of my house. Like literally if I turn the camera on, there's people sitting underneath my tree. I'm too hot right now, so I have an air purifier in my room, and when I turn it on, it sounds like that. But it blows cold air. So it's like a mini fan. So hey, anybody whose room is really, really hot, just get a air purifier and it blows cold air and your room literally gets freezing. So anyway, what I was saying is that just don't think about it, okay? Don't think about what you have to do. If you sit down and think, oh my God, I have all this stuff to do, like just get up and do it, okay? Avoid the resistance, avoid the voice in your head that's telling you that, oh, maybe if I do it tomorrow or like the next day or later today, it'll be better. Get it done, don't think about it, put in the time, and boom. At the end of the day, you can't be down on yourself because you put in the time, you put in the effort, you didn't think too hard about it, so you didn't work yourself up. I need to slow down. And yes, let's not talk as fast. So, yes. Basically, as weird as it sounds, resistance keeps us from sitting down. And I know, like, a lot of people would think that's kind of weird, like, well, I got things to do. Like, why would I just sit down if I have things to do? Well, 99% of the time, when you have something that you need to do, it requires sitting down, like doing a paper, doing an essay, that's the same thing, planning something, okay? Maybe, I don't know, you don't have to sit down all the time, but most of the time, when it comes to, I don't know, okay, start over. A writer knows how hard it is to write, okay? An artist sometimes knows how hard it is to come up with a painting or come up with an idea or an inspiration. So, yeah, that's basically what resistance does. Inside each and every one of us, there are two different people. There is the person, well, it's not really two different people, there's two different lives inside of us. So the first life is the life we live, okay, the day-to-day life. And the second is the unlived life inside of us that is yearning to freaking get out and is just scratching at your insides to get out, okay? So resistance is the one who gets in between the both of those, okay? So you have the life that you live, the one that you're kind of supposed to do, the ones that you do for your parents, your teachers, your brothers, your sisters, your boyfriend, your grandpa, so on. And then over here, you have the life that you just, the one inside. So say you're having to go to school because your dad wants you to be a medical student, but inside you just want to be a singer and a pop star. That's you over here. And in between that, right there in that little thing I'm looking at, that's resistance. Okay, that little bar that you want to lift up right in between getting from the life you're living to the life you're destined to live, that's resistance right in the middle. Okay? So now we have identified the two lives that live inside us individuals. The life we live and the life we want to live, okay? Not really want, it's the one that we're destined to live, because wanting something is just, I don't know, we're not gonna get into that. But anyway, point is that to yield to, okay, so right here, quote unquote, from Pressfield himself, to yield to resistance deforms, not disforms. Okay, start over with the quote, dude, all right? To yield to resistance deforms our spirit, it stunts us, and makes us less than we are meant to be. Alright, so we have these two lives, okay? So who's kind of like living both of these lives? Who's the one that's in charge? Well, that's what I'm going to call, and what Pressfield calls, the genius, okay? The genius that we are. So for example, the genius inside of a painter is the thing that paints the pictures. The genius inside of the writer writes the things. The genius inside of the scientist figures out the experiments. The genius inside of the, goes on and on and on. The genius is that little thing inside of us that spits out the creativity, but also the one that gets bashed on by resistance the most. So you can, the thing that kind of sucks though about resistance is you can look everywhere for your problems, okay? Say you're a very depressed person, you can be looking everywhere externally for your problems. You can look at the friends that are hurting you, the relationships that hurt you, the experiences that have hurt you, the things to come that are going to hurt you. But as you're literally being blinded by something that's sitting right in front of your face, okay? And that's resistance. Resistance is an invisible power, but I promise you it's one of the most powerful invisible powers that we create within ourselves. So, it's just like how I talked about in my other videos, you can't look outside for all of the solutions to your problems. A lot of the times we already know what's up. Well, that's kind of like what I'm talking about right now, okay? You're looking outside for all of your issues, but really the issue is just the resistance that you've created inside of yourself. I'm getting so hot, dude. So hot. Think about it this way. How many people have started heavily drinking, heavily doing drugs, heavily gossiping about people, heavily just on their phone simply because they are not doing what their soul is screaming at them to do? They're not doing what they're not doing what their innate self was destined to do. So they get depressed, they start drinking, they start abusing drugs, they start distracting themselves with all of these outside sources, trying to fight something that's inside that is boiling up on their own. It says for me to read a section of my book, so I must be having to read something. Okay, let me now find, this is awkward. Alright, so, quote from my book, it says, I gotta change the battery. Okay, let's try this again. Reading from my book, it says, resistance defeats us. If tomorrow morning, by some stroke of magic, every dazed and benighted soul woke up with the power to take the first step towards pursuing his or her dreams, every shrink in the directory would be out of business. Prisons would stand empty. The alcohol and tobacco industries would collapse, along with the junk food, cosmetic surgery, and informant businesses, not to mention pharmaceutical companies. Domestic abuse would become extinct, as would addiction, obesity, migraine headaches, road rage, and dandruff. The next section that I want to read from this book is really interesting, and the reason why I wanted to read it quote from quote is because if I started talking about it, people would literally rip my ass apart because of what I'm saying. So, quote unquote, Stephen Pressfold's words, not mine, it's just something to think about, and I quote from him, "You know, Hitler wanted to be an artist. At 18, he took his inheritance, 700, I don't know how to say that word, but Kronen? 700 Kronen, he took his money and moved to Vienna to live and study. He applied to the Academy of Fine Arts and later to the School of Architecture. Have you ever seen one of his paintings? Neither have I. Resistance beat him. Call it an overstatement, but I'll say it anyway. It was easier for Hitler to start World War II than it was for him to face a blank square of a canvas." Follow what your inner heart is telling you to do, my friends. That is all I have to say. There's a really good quote by the Dalai Lama that says, "Enemy is our greatest teacher." And that's true. Just think about it for a second. So real quick, I'm going to read to you a list of Resistance's greatest hits. Okay. The following list, in no particular order, of those activities that most commonly elicit resistance. 1. The pursuit of any calling in writing, painting, music, film, dance, or any creative art, however marginal or unconventional. Sorry. I'm in a weird fucking mood. Unconventional. Like, literally, it's because I'm so hot. I'm having a heat stroke. Somebody call 911. Shorty fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa! Maybe if I am weird enough, it'll like get them to leave me alone. I don't have air conditioning, so that's why it's so freaking hot. Alright, thank you. The launching of any I'm an entrepreneur. I have to say that sentence to get the word. The launch of any entrepreneurial. I like want to stop this video, but Sarah, that's resistance. Resistance is trying to distract you right now, bruh. You got this. Keep going. Number 2, the launching of any stop stuttering, dude. Stop. Anything that will give you profit, okay? Number 3, any diet or health regimen. Number 4, any program of spiritual advancement. Number 5, any activity that's aim is towards a tighter abdominal. I guess if you want abs, dude, resistance is hella gonna beat your ass. Same with a big butt. If you want a big booty, resistance is screaming your name. Number 6, any course or program designed to overcome Alright, people are probably like, dude, turn off the fucking video, you can't read. This is why I don't read out loud. Any course or program designed to overcome an unwholesome habit or addiction. Number 7, education of any kind. Number 8, any act of political, moral, or ethical courage, including the decision to change for the better some unworthy pattern of thought or conduct in ourselves. Jesus Christ, like, when can we get a fucking president that thinks that way? Oh wait, we can't, because anybody that thinks different, the mass tries to fucking kill. Sorry, whoa, Sarah, chill. Yo, mellow down, yo. Okay, number 9, the undertaking of any enterprise or endeavor whose aim is to help others. Number 10, any act that entitles commitment of the heart. the decision to get married, to have a child, to weather a rocky patch in a relationship. And number 7. Number 11. The taking of any principled stand in the face of adversity. In other words, any act that rejects immediate gratification in favor of long-term growth, health, or integrity. Or, expressed another way, any act that derives from our higher nature instead of our lower. Any of these will elicit resistance. Now, what are the characteristics of resistance? That's what I'm going to talk about right now. Okay? So, for one, like I was saying earlier, resistance is internal. It's something that we create for ourselves. We all have it, we all experience it, but they're all unique individual experiences of resistance, okay? But we all have it, okay? We all have it. It's self-inflicted and it's self-created. But like I said, it seems to come from the outside, so it kind of confuses us when we're like, oh, poor me, poor me. The outside world hates me. No, it's the resistance inside of you that is just trying to defeat you. It's not bad. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Hell, admit to it. Accept it, all right? Resistance has no consciousness, okay? We have a consciousness, okay? As a thinking being, we have a consciousness. Resistance doesn't. So resistance doesn't have its own voice. So that's how it tricks you, and that's how one of the ways it's its biggest tricksters ever. It comes into your head and you think it's a thought of your own, but really it's just the power of resistance. So for example, I'm sitting in bed and I need to get up for the day. Okay, wait. Totally forgot what I was talking about. The voice in your head. You wake up in the morning and you think to yourself, I have to get up and go do something. Like, what the hell am I getting at? What do you mean you have to get up and go do something? Like, I'm trying to give an example of the fact that resistance will get into your head, it will talk shit to you, it will talk down to you, and you'll literally think it's your own consciousness, and it's not. I don't know how it camouflages itself. I don't know how it gets a voice of its own by using you to create a voice for itself. That's kind of creepy, right? Something that doesn't have a voice uses a human to voice itself. Ooh, creepy. Anyway, not even what we're talking about. But it will trick you. You'll think it's your own consciousness telling you that you can't do something, telling you you're not good enough, telling you, oh, I can do it tomorrow. But really, that's resistance speaking to you, whispering in your little ear hole, telling you, yo, dude, you can't do it. And you're going to listen to me because you think I'm your consciousness, but I'm not. I'm just deceiving you. Okay? I have another italicized piece of writing that says to read a quote. So let me again find the quote I'm supposed to read. Okay. Here's what I was going to read. The more important, this video is so all over the place, dude. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is resistance again. See, this is a perfect example. A prime example of resistance trying to kick in and get me to turn the camera off and not make this video because I'm so all over the place. Okay, the more important something is, so like for example, I think this video is very important. The more resistance will bite you. The more resistance will try to distract you, try to pull you off guard, try to, oh look, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a star, it's the sky, Resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work. It will fabricate, falsify, seduce, bully. Resistance is protein. It will assume any form. Okay, sometimes I just stop and wonder, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're sitting here trying to make a video for thousands of people. It's not working. Okay, it will assume any form, if that's what it takes to deceive you. It will reason with you just like a lawyer or jam a 9mm in your face like a stick-up man. Resistance has no conscience, like I said. It will pledge anything to get a deal, then double cross you as soon as your back is turned. If you take resistance at its word, you deserve everything you get. Resistance is always lying and always full of shit. If you don't believe me, the book says it itself. Resistance is always lying and is always full of shit. Okay? Another thing about resistance, like I said, all of us have it, so therefore it's universal. Don't feel alone. Don't feel like you're the only person sitting in your room fighting with the voice in your head. Don't feel alone. Because I promise, if anything, you've been watching me fight with the voice inside of my head for about 11 minutes now. So, you are not alone, my friends. We all struggle, some more, some less, but we all have it. Another thing about resistance that's really important is it goes in for the kill, okay? Its goal isn't to just like hurt you temporarily or like make you get a little paper cut so it hurts for a second. No, it does not want you to reach your goals. It does not want you to succeed. A lot of people may call this like the devil or like something like the devil, but really it's just resistance, okay? It's just this freaking thing inside of you that is fighting you. I don't know why. That's still something I have to learn. But it's literally fighting with you. It's two people inside of you, the two lives going hand in hand. Nope, that's what we want, is hand in hand. They're going head in head, and nothing is being done about it. So that's what it goes in for. It goes in for the kill. So due to this, we feed it with fear. Okay, what have I told in other videos? This is the same notion with the devil and evil. The more energy and even thought you put into something, you're literally feeding it. You're manifesting its energy on its frequency, its vibrations. You may not see it with your own eyes, but just you literally putting so much thought and consideration and your intent into something, it manifests it. The more fear you have towards your resistance, the more your resistance builds, and the harder it's going to be to tear it down. It sucks, but I mean, it's just the truth. Alright? You master fear, you'll conquer it. Alright? Master the fear, you'll conquer the resistance. Okay. Another thing about resistance is, say you are so close to finishing your goals. Say you are on this spiritual journey, this physical journey, okay? This mental journey. And you are almost there. You're almost lost all of the weight you wanted to lose. You've almost gained all of the weight you wanted to gain. You know? You've almost finished the book you're writing. You've almost finished the essay you're writing. For God's sake, you're almost graduating. You are at your senior year of high school. When you are at the finish line, you guys, resistance will kick in at its hardest. Okay? It will go full force towards you and try to blow you so far out of the water that you have sand stuck in your butt and you can't walk. Like, literally, that's the goal of resistance. It sees you. Sometimes resistance is sneaky as shit and stays quiet until it's that time. You've worked your ass off your whole entire high school life, okay? 4 years shoved into just this one experience, okay? You're so close to graduating that you're literally like, oh my god, I have put in so much freaking effort, I'm done. I have 1 more week of school, screw it, I'm not reading anymore. I'm not doing any more assignments. I'm done respecting my peers and my teachers. I'm not going to class. That's resistance. That's not anything good. That's your ego talking you out of what you're supposed to do. Okay? I feel like right now ego and resistance go hand in hand. The higher your ego is, the more it listens to resistance, if that makes sense. It comes at us when we are almost at our goals. So, not only is it such a pain in the ass that it nips at us and just keeps reminding us how hard it is, how much of a struggle it is, how much determination, motivation, just focus you have to set your goals. It wasn't just biting you in the ass the whole entire time you were walking there. It's going to bite you so freaking hard you start bleeding and you have to kind of stop and be like, oh my god, what am I doing? Ooh, squirrel. Instead of, oh my god, diploma. Like, you know, it's just a teeter-totter. You gotta just keep your eye on the prize, eye on the ball, swing and get a freaking grand slam. And then you can sit down and celebrate, okay? Don't celebrate before it's too early. I feel like that's another way resistance tricks us. It kind of gets us excited. It makes us, oh, I'm so excited, I'm almost there. Let's just celebrate right now, Sarah. You did it, you did it. Even though you're still 3 days away from your actual, finish line, you did it. You're 3 steps away. You did it, Sarah. Stop. You don't have to go any further. You already did it. No, you didn't even cross the finish line yet. Tell that voice to shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Another thing. Resistance is self-sabotage, but it is also possible to get sabotaged by others. I am also told by myself to read a quote on page 19. So let me flip to page 19. Alright, so here's the quote. Sorry, I found it. Jesus. It's like I need to put a damn highlighter on all the parts I want to read. Okay. When a writer begins to overcome her resistance, in other words, when she actually starts to write, she may find that those close to her begin acting strange. They may become moody or sullen. They may get sick. They may accuse the awakening writer of changing, of not being the person they were. The closer these people are to the awakening person, the more bizarre they will start to act, and the more emotion they will put behind their actions. They are trying to sabotage her. Well, why? Whether people do this consciously or unconsciously, people do this because they are struggling with their own resistance. So for example, you guys, I'm going to use myself as a prime example. I read the little quote because it has an amazing example of the woman writer and how, hey, once she starts writing, everyone starts acting weird. Here's a perfect personal example from my own life of how I have learned that this book is right. What they're talking about is right. Not only do you sabotage yourself when you start feeding in to resistance, but people will start to sabotage you when you are getting further onto your goal. For example, I just watched both of my mom and dad die. That tore me the fuck apart, dude. Talk about sadness, talk about depression, okay? I just lost everything. I posted a video of me actually smiling, of me actually dancing, of me being happy, of me avoiding that resistance that tells me to not get out of bed, that tells me, Sarah, you're not good enough. Sarah, you have nobody to impress anymore. Sarah, nobody's giving you a pat on the back. Nobody cares anymore. Instead of me listening to that voice of resistance in my head, I got up and made a video. What happened when I posted that video? I got nothing but hate, dude. Nothing but hate. I had so many people telling me I'm acting like somebody I'm not. I'm trying to be somebody I'm not. I'm not being myself. I'm being weird. I need help. I need to go see a doctor. That's resistance at its finest. That's other people trying to sabotage me because they see me getting back up on my feet. There's nothing wrong with realizing people are trying to tear you down, okay? A lot of people try to tell you you're head high, you're egotistical, you're narcissistic. No, you realize people who are trying to sabotage you and withhold you from your ultimate goals. I don't play with that, okay? So that's a perfect example right there, you guys. I am getting back onto my feet. I am finding my happiness. I'm awakening the freaking child that fell asleep inside of me. The child that listened to her resistance so much it literally put her to sleep. She's finally waking up. She's done crying. And now the people and the resistance in the universe are going to try to tear her down. You guys, stay strong. That's where I come into my next little part. The awakened artist is what I'm going to call, because we're all artists, okay? The awakened artist, you guys, has to be ruthless. You have to be ruthless towards yourself and towards everybody else. What does that mean? That means that if people are trying to sabotage you, you are ruthless. You do not let that distract you. You do not let that tear you down at all. That's not being head high, you guys. That's not being an egomaniac. That's being an artist. Staying true to yourself and not letting the outside forces create even more resistance. Those people are already trying to resist you from what you're doing. Don't feed into it, you guys. Literally, don't feed into it. You have to be ruthless. I know there's something in here that talks about that I want to read. Okay. Once you make your break, you can't turn around for your buddy who catches his trouser leg on the barbed wire. The best thing you can do for that friend, and he'd tell you that himself if he was really your friend, is to get over the wall and keep moving. The best and only thing that an artist can do for another is to serve as an example or as an inspiration. The only thing an artist can offer to others is to be an example or an inspiration. An artist does not go out and sabotage others. An artist does not stop what they're doing to worry about the opinions of sheep. You have to be ruthless, dude. You have to kind of have that I don't give a fuck attitude. Because that's what beats down the resistance. Sir, you're tired? No, I don't give a fuck. I'm getting this done today. What if I die tomorrow? I gotta do everything that I want done today. Tomorrow isn't always promised, you guys. We might get hit by a bus or a fucking trash truck when we walk outside. You gotta be ruthless in this world, especially in 2017. You have to be more ruthless than ever, dude. More ruthless than ever. Ever. What are some symptoms of resistance? Because still, some people may be like, well, I don't really do that. Maybe I don't have resistance in my life. I'm still depressed and I still feel like I'm held back from everything, but I don't wake up in the morning and have trouble getting out of bed. I don't wake up in the morning and worry about what other people think, but I still have a hard time accomplishing my goals. Okay, well, one symptom of resistance is procrastination. Okay, everybody knows what procrastination is. That's the whole, I'll put it off until tomorrow. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. You have in your mind that you're going to do it. It's not that you're just totally blowing off the topic at itself and saying, forget it, I'm not going to do it. You become aware of the fact that you want to do it. You're going to do it. It's just you're not going to carry out with it yet. Okay? You have a couple other things that have a bigger priority, are more important, then you'll get to what's done. Oh my god, I have to write a paper, but I also told Samantha that I'd go over to her house and help her with her paper. I also told Josh I'd meet him at Starbucks. I'll just write the paper when I get home tonight or tomorrow when I wake up. That's procrastination. It's the same thing as resistance, but we're going to just use a different word that will maybe, open up people's just eyes to what resistance really is. Procrastination is resistance. It's just a symptom of it. The bad thing, though, about procrastination is that it turns into a habit. Whether you are consciously aware of it or unconsciously aware of it, it becomes a habit. Now, another interesting thing is resistance can also, this is an interesting topic, but it's true, something that we need to talk about. Resistance can also take form in sex, okay? How? Well, sex is one of the most instant forms of gratification a human could ever possibly receive. Ever, okay? It's literally immediate, powerful gratification. The same thing, okay, goes with drugs, gossip, surfing the web, being addicted to porn, any of that stuff. Consuming an excessive food, fats, sugar, chocolate, all of that. Literally. Instant, powerful gratification is one of the... Why? Because resistance only comes with something that doesn't come instantly. For example, I have a long-term goal to gain weight. I can't gain weight overnight. I cannot gain weight and it be an instant gratification. It was not instant. It will take time, okay? Sex is instantaneous. Gossiping and talking shit is instantaneous. Watching porn is instantaneous gratification. Smoking, getting drunk, instant. It might take 5 minutes, it might take 10 minutes for your little pill to kick in, but regardless of the fact, it doesn't take months to get to the end of the things. It takes only a little bit of time. So, resistance comes in the forms of sex. If you are in a relationship and all you are doing is having sex, you must resisting some of the underlying issues. Really getting to know the person, really getting them to know you, learning them spiritually and emotionally, mentally. Those three things are so different. But instead you choose to learn about their bodies and explore them sexually. No, don't let sex resist you from really finding somebody. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that comes into a relationship. The biggest form of resistance in a relationship is sex. Because instead of getting over a fight, instead of sitting down and having a conversation about a fight we got into that might take 20 minutes and might end up in us yelling at each other even more, why not let's just go have sex and forget all about it? Let's not make each other so freaking happy and just bust, in 5 minutes instead of sitting down over a dinner with our phones off, with the TV off, with the radio off and talking one-on-one truthfully, not lying to each other, but truthfully about what happened. No, let's just go have sex instead. Prime example of resistance. Prime example. I am told to read another quote from page 24. We get ourselves into trouble because it's a cheap way to get attention. Trouble is the false form of fame. It's easier to get busted in the bedroom with the faculty chairman's wife than it is to finish that long, hard project on the metaphysics. I don't know what the rest of those words are. Those are really hard. Of Motley in the novellas of Joseph Contral. In simpler words, it's easier to get caught up fucking the girl at your work than it is to fulfill the project you're supposed to do at work. Ill health is a form of trouble, as are alcoholism and drug addiction, proneness to accidents, all neurosis including compulsive screwing up, and such seemingly benign phobias such as jealousy, chronic lateness, and blasting of rap music at 10 or 110 dp from your smoked glass 95 Supra. Anything that draws attention to ourselves through pain-free or artificial means is a manifestation of resistance. Cruelty to others is a form of resistance, as is the willing to endure cruelty from others. I'm going to break it down just a little bit. So, for example, when he said blasting your music out of your big, nice, souped-up car, that draws a lot of attention, okay? And it's pain-free, you know? It's artificial. You're being, you're not being yourself. You're being fake. You're literally asking for attention. That is a form of resistance. When I said cruelty to others and is a form of resistance, and allowing others to be cruel towards you is also a form of resistance. Sorry if I'm getting a little bit confusing. But an aspiring artist will not let any of that shit get in her way because she literally knows that it is distracting her from where she's supposed to go. A writer literally doesn't tolerate, or an artist literally doesn't tolerate any of that in her life. So right here it says, the working artist banishes from her world all sources of trouble. She harnesses the urge for trouble and transforms it into work. Transform it into work, you guys. Another thing, a little section I want to read. Creating soap opera in our lives is a symptom of resistance. Why put in years of work designing a new software interface when you can get just as much attention by bringing home a boyfriend with a prison record? Sometimes entire families participate unconsciously in a culture of self-dramatization. The kids fuel the tanks. The grown-ups arm the phrasers. The whole starship lurches from one spine-tingling episode to another, and the crew knows how to keep it going. If the level of drama drops below a certain threshold, someone jumps in to amp it up. Dad gets drunk, Mom gets sick, Jenny shows up from church with an Oakland Raiders tattoo. It's more fun than a movie, and it works. Nobody gets a damn thing done. Sometimes I think of resistance as a sort of evil twin to Santa Claus, who makes his rounds house to house, making sure that everything's taken care of. When he comes to a house that's hooked on self-dramatization, his ruby cheeks glow and his giddy-ups always behind his, and he giddy-ups away behind his 8 tiny reindeer. He knows there'll be no work done in that house. So that's when it comes into form. So that's when the idea that yes, depression, speak, girl, speak. That is where the idea that yes, depression and anxiety may be real, but they may just very well be forms of resistance, okay? And I'm going to read another paragraph just so I'm not trying to sum it up and explain it to myself. When we drug ourselves to blot out our soul's call, we are being good Americans and exemplary consumers. We're doing exactly, you guys, like listen to what I'm saying, please, listen to what I'm saying. We're doing exactly what the TV commercials and pop materialistic cultures have been brainwashing us to do since birth. Literally, I'm gonna read that freaking again. When we drug ourselves to blot out our soul's call, we are being good Americans, good humans, and exemplary consumers. We're doing exactly what the TV commercials, the pop materialist culture has been brainwashing us to do from birth. Instead of applying self-knowledge, self-discipline, delayed gratification, and hard work, we simply consume a product. Period. Do not cast yourself as a victim to get out of doing work. One of the other biggest forms of resistance is victimhood, putting yourself as the victim. That can be as simple as making yourself believe you are sicker than you are. That's real shit, you guys. Do you know how many doctors probably have to hold back from laughing when people come into their room? Because of victimhood and self-dramatization? And then there's the people who actually are hurt and in pain and need help. I can think of so many prime examples that people would literally think my dad was bullshitting when he would go into the emergency room begging for some pain meds, begging for some freaking relief for the pain he was going through. They thought he was just like everybody else, pulling the victim card to get drugs. It's sick, you guys. We need to wake up and start literally living life the way we're supposed to be. Stop being victims. Stop making everybody conform to your way of thinking. Just because you're different doesn't mean everybody has to conform to that way of thinking. It's okay to be different, you guys. We are all supposed to be unique individuals, not robots who move in the same direction every single day. Wake the hell up. I'm trying to help you guys. Doctors estimate that 70 to 80% of their business is non-health related. People aren't sick. They are self-dramatizing. Sometimes the hardest part of the medical job is being serious. The victim act is a form of passive aggression. It seeks to achieve gratification not by honest work or a contribution made out of one's experience or insight or love, but by the manipulation of others through silent and not so silent threat. The victim compels others to come to his rescue, to come behave as he wishes by holding him hostage to the prospect of his own further illness, meltdown, mental disillusion, or simply by threatening to make their lives so miserable that they do what he wants. This happens in relationships so many times. What happens? I'm gonna kill myself if you don't love me. I'm gonna hurt myself. I can't live without you. People throw the victimhood on simple scenarios, you guys. Simple things. Whether it be they don't want to go to work, so they pull the sick card that they don't feel good. They make it seem like their kids are sick. Oh, I have to take my kid to the doctor. Oh, my cough hurts so bad. I'm going to brainwash myself into thinking I have bronchitis. And then the best part is you think you have bronchitis, then you go into the doctor and make the doctor think that you have bronchitis, then they give you medications that you don't need, and then you hurt your immune system even more, all because why? You're resisting something that you know is in your best interest to do, but it's just so damn much work, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, that you'd rather just sit down and cough and sneeze and pretend to be sick. Like, get up and make yourself some lemon water if you don't feel good. Sorry, that was me. But seriously, you guys, there's even been times where I've done that on my own. I didn't want to go to school. Mom, I don't feel good. I feel sick. Dad, I feel sick. I don't feel good. A lot of the time, sometimes I use that as an excuse for my emotional problems. I literally feel emotionally drained that I pretend I'm sick. I pretend I don't feel good. Sometimes we self-dramatize because we're hurt. We do want help. We don't know how to voice what's really wrong, so we hide it behind fake scenarios. It's like the boy who cried wolf, you guys. That's why people are so mean nowadays, too. So many people are crying wolf. Then they don't know who to take serious. And then people who are serious get mad at the people who don't take them serious, when really, you guys, it's just a game. We're all brainwashing each other. We are becoming the victims of the day-to-day life and allowing it to become a normal. Literally, us as a society are allowing people to pull a victim card when it's not even needed, so then the true victims can't even voice themselves. They can't even get seen as serious. We gotta open our eyes to the real problem, you guys. The real problem isn't being called what you want and don't want. And I'm talking about this he-she pronoun that's going on right now. If you know who you are in your heart, you guys, you do not do anything to get any of those thoughts torn down. You be ruthless. Be ruthless towards the people that don't respect you. Don't demand respect by them. Forget about them. Realize that they're not going to get you any further down this road, so why even put any thought or energy into them? Why even sit there and wander? Understand that there are underlying issues and reasons for why a person is cold-hearted and mean, and just accept that. Literally just accept that. A question also may be, well, hey, I don't really procrastinate. I get my things done. So what is resistance? Well, resistance feels like unhappiness. It feels like being unsettled. It feels like you're not good enough. It feels like you're not impressing anybody. It literally feels like it's unhappiness. You become bored. You become restless. You can't get satisfaction. That's funny. You can't get satisfaction in anything. Your relationships, your friends, your spouse, that is sort of the same thing as relationship. But you're so unhappy that you cannot get satisfied. So then what happens? You want to go back to bed. You want to party. You don't want to party. You don't know what you want to do. You're literally just uneasy. You start to hate your life. You start to hate yourself. And this all went back to this simple notion of resistance. It became so powerful and built itself up and magnified itself so much that it turned you into an unhappy person. Not the outside world, not the relationships. You allowing resistance to take over your creative side of your mind turned you into an unhappy and an unsatisfied person who went from, to I hate my life. I do not want to be here. I've been there. A lot of us have been there, you guys. Like I said, resistance is universal, alright? It's universal. It's in all of us. Especially the people who strive for really what they want. Especially if it isn't accepted by society, if it isn't accepted by their peers, by their class, by their family, by Instagram or social media. That's especially when resistance kicks in, is when it's not accepted by society. Beyond that, you become depressed. So that's why when I said, yes, depression is real, but what if it really is just a form of resistance? It's not just resistance that turned you uneasy and unsatisfied. It went from being uneasy and unsatisfied to literally depressed, to having a chronic illness, to allowing yourself to fall apart so much that, again, what started out as a little bit of resistance became a habit, became a day-to-day thing, and is now a lifestyle. Now it says read quote till the end. So, hold on. From depression to aggression to becoming dysfunctional to committing actual crimes, becoming just so uneasy and just unsettled that you just start creating crimes. You start web searching, you start going onto websites you shouldn't be going onto because you're starting to find a satisfaction of something that really is not supposed to give you satisfaction, but because you have just become, it's not even brainwashed, it's just you've become distracted by resistance that you feel like you have to go to the weird walks of life to gain that satisfaction. Drugs, adultery, porn, things like that. It sounds like life, I know, but it isn't. It's resistance. What makes it tricky is that we live in a consumer culture that's acutely aware of this unhappiness and has masked all its profit-seeking allure to exploit it. By selling us a product, a drug, a distraction. This world, you guys, all of these consumers and PR companies, they are not out here to benefit us, you guys. We think that this shit that's pushed to us on TV and in magazines and on media is to benefit us. It's to feed our resistance, you guys. Dead ass. To feed our resistance. John Lennon once wrote, "Well, you think you're so clever and classless and free, but you're all fucking peasants as far as I can see." As artists and professionals, it is our obligation to enact our own internal revolution. We overthrow the please listen to this. This is so freaking important. Please listen to this, yo. It's not as artists and as professionals, us as humans, us as thinking, intellectual beings need to overthrow the programming of advertising, movies, video games, magazines, TV, MTV, by which we have been hypnotized from the cradle. We unplug ourselves from the grid by recognizing that we will never cure our restlessness by contributing our disposable income to the bottom line of bullshit, but only by doing our work. If we don't do our work, all of these other people are going to be doing the work out here, producing all the things for us. We literally have psychopaths running this world. And they are very smart individuals, very smart people that see, it's not even a continent, dude, that see walks of life with their own thinking, conscious being. And what is their goal? To brainwash you into thinking one way. It's looking past race, religion, status, how many followers you have. It's about looking past that and realizing the oneness we are all a part of. The infinite realm of possibilities that lives inside of each and every one of us, you guys. We all come from one infinite consciousness. It's one infinite consciousness perceiving life through different perceivers. That's what we are. We're just perceivers, you guys. We're all the same. But society and the mass makes us think that we aren't, okay? We are all different, unique beings. That's okay. We don't have to all think the same. We don't have to all act the same, dress the same, look the same, want the same, buy the same, eat the same. Shit. The last part that I want to talk about is criticism, okay? Why? Criticism comes out of resistance. Again, consciously or unconsciously, criticism comes out of resistance. When we see others beginning to live their authentic selves, it kills us. It literally drives us crazy. Like, we don't have a life of our own to live. I'm going to repeat that again. When we see people living their authentic selves, their innate being, the artist they are destined to be, it drives us crazy. As if us looking at another human being fulfilling their desires, what they were meant to do, as if we don't have our own goals to pursue, as if we don't have our own life to live. So we criticize other people. If you speak at all, speak from encouragement, you guys. If you are a person who loves to comment on YouTube videos, speak from encouragement. What the heck is a hate comment gonna do? And I know a lot of people love to just say, yo, ignore the hate comments. That's the issue, you guys. We ignore all of the bullshit and make people think it's okay. That's not normal, yo. It is not normal for an intelligent being to rip apart another intelligent being. I'm sorry, but that is not normal. It is not normal to compete and go head on head. This isn't a dog-eat-dog world like they make us think. Stop thinking this way of life is okay. Stop thinking it's okay to criticize people, and then stop thinking it's okay to allow people to criticize you. Don't, you know what I mean? You have to be careful with this. Because literally out of everything I have talked about in this whole entire video, all of those forms of resistance hurt nobody but yourself. Except, and I italicize criticism. Criticism is the only form of resistance that doesn't just hurt you, but it hurts other people. That is not okay. It's one thing for you to have resistance tear yourself down, but it's another thing for you to let resistance get so far up your ass that it starts tearing down other people. Do not let your own resistance tear you down as well as other people down. That's the last place we want to get, and literally that's where we're heading as a society, as beings in ourselves. It's not just you. It's not just you. People love to do that. People love, just like I said, the second people start seeing people, they want to tell them that they're not acting themselves. They're being weird. They're putting on a front. Just like they're saying right now. People start criticizing you. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. Don't use your energy that way. Just don't. The more scared you are of something, the more resistance you'll have. You really want to do something, but you're really scared because, yo, how cool would it be to really be a famous author? To really be a person who travels the world? To really be that person that makes a difference? That's scary. That is. It's not necessarily scary, it's intimidating. It's kind of like, damn, can I really do that? That's resistance again. Can I really do that? Can I really get up off of my ass, should I say? I've been through hell and back. People tear me down every day, but I can still get up and do it. Fear shows us what we have to do, you guys. Look at fear as one of the best indicators in your life. Yes, happiness, we should always, run towards happiness, fulfill that, our little excitement to get a little burst of natural ecstasy, but really pay attention to where fear drives you. I'm not talking about, oh, I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared of that noise. I'm scared of that animal. I'm talking about being scared of pursuing something in life. An actual thought, Not just an object. We're not talking about materialistic things anymore, okay? We're not talking about that domain. Success is only a byproduct of hard work, okay? Again, success is only a byproduct of hard work. How can you feel successful if you don't put in the hard work? Just like I said, the number one thing you can do day to day is to just put the time in. Whether that be 5 minutes, put the time in. It's the hard work that will bring the success. It's not you wanting something. It's not the definition of the law of attraction that society has fed you guys. Life isn't always about instant gratifications, and that's what these people make you think even the law of attraction is about. You want it, you ask for it, you receive it. No. Where does hard work? Where is hard work in that equation? It's not just ask, believe, receive. It's ask, believe in yourself, work your goddamn ass off, and then you receive it, because success is a byproduct of hard work. You're not just going to get something because you think you deserve it, because you want it, because you lust it. There's a difference between wanting and needing too. Do not rationalize with yourself, and do not rationalize with resistance. What is rationalizing? Rationalizing is when you agree and actually have that little conversation with that head where it makes sense. Oh, okay, it does make sense to why I shouldn't write that paper tonight. It does. It just makes a lot of sense. You've rationalized with yourself and talked yourself out of something. That's the last thing you want to do, you guys. It's okay to be alone. It is perfectly okay to be alone. That's where you can sit down and put your time in the best, is when you are focused and by yourself. It's not listening to the opinions of everybody in your class, of all of your friends, of a boy who doesn't really care about you. It's about listening to that voice in your head, you guys. Not resistance, your intuition, okay? Amazing artists and professionals focus on the work, period, you guys. Period. Humans, as humans, we need to focus on the work that needs to be done. Literally, middle finger up to the reward, if there even is one. That shouldn't be your main goal either. Don't just do something because there's a reward at the end. Sometimes you won't get a reward for the good things you do in life. That's not what life is about. And I feel like that's another thing society is trying to teach us. You do good, you'll get good back. You'll always get a reward. That's what people have referred to this term as karma. People are so confused, yo. So confused. That's not how it works, okay? That's not how karma works. That's not how the law of attraction works. That's not how awakening works, fulfillment works. That's not how spirituality works. It's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. That's not. Become self-aware before you even think about becoming anything else, you guys. Focus on the work. Do not focus on the reward or the outcome, okay? Don't focus on that. That's doing work for your ego. That's being an egomaniac. I have become to a blank page. This is a long video, hella long, but that was just my thoughts and Stephen Pressfold's helping me understand resistance. That was just one word, you guys. One word was such a big ass meaning. Yes, I could have said, made a 2-second video, hey, resistance is the opposite and enemy of creativity. But not that many people would get that. Sometimes you really have to dig into a simple word like fulfillment, self-actualization, happiness, sadness, resistance, procrastination. Words are powerful tools, you guys. Words were here to teach us. Books offer so much, you guys. I would have never imagined I would have learned a literal life lesson on resistance and how to fulfill my deepest desires as the artist I am. I would have never imagined I would have gotten that out of a book that a college professor handed me in a writing class. It wasn't even that serious of a class. It was like an art and poetry class. This little tiny book, this book is real thin too compared to some of the books I have. It is over 150 pages, but this little book, if this little book can teach so much, imagine what 3, 4, 5 books can teach you. I'm just trying to help you guys, okay? Like I said, I don't make these videos for me because I already learned, and I didn't learn because I still have a lot to learn, but I've become aware and just a little bit, I understand what was being spoken, okay, about resistance. How would it benefit me to just keep that to myself? What would it benefit? Keeping knowledgeable information in when you can share it with thousands of people. That's all I'm trying to do. I just want to share some of the things that I'm learning. It won't just benefit me. One isn't enough. It's gonna take all of us, literally all of us, to make a change. We are living in hell right now. Avoid resistance, you guys. Avoid being brainwashed by the outlooks and perspectives of everybody else, of the opinions and assumptions and criticism, the negativity. I really hope this video helped. I know the beginning was a little bit shaky. I kind of got into my element towards the end, but it's because I didn't feed into the resistance. I didn't stop the video. Yo, I'm proud of myself. You go, girl. Just listen to the voice in your head. Listen to the voice in your head and not the voice outside. Millions of voices, including the voice of resistance, are bickering at you every single day. Everybody is, you guys. Parents, teachers, friends, spouses, people in the grocery store, people on the internet. Why have we come so accustomed to listening to that voice and not our intuition? The most honest and purest and realest voice out there, dude. The one that would never lie to you. Listen to that one, you guys, please. Please. I hope you all are having an amazing time. I hope that life isn't tearing on us too hard. We are all in this together, okay? You have me, so you're not by yourself. So many people love to tell me, Sarah, I don't have anybody. Dude, you got me. I mean, that might not mean anything, but I got you, I promise. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really do. I know I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, so I'm going to look at it. Monsi is what I'm going to call you. Monsi. Thank you for this journal. It is beautiful. I thank you, and I really appreciate it. I don't even know what to say anymore, but I hope this video helped. Yeah. I'm just going to end it.